So tuning up the non-singing schoolboys for their first big challenge, a frustrating time for teacher Gareth. The choir continues at 9. But now on BBC Two, Valerie Singleton meets the oldie entrepreneurs too young to retire.
Tonight on the Money programme, is your age a barrier to your making it in the world of business?
I'm afraid to say that some people believe that when you get past a certain age of 50, it's all over. Well, they're wrong. They're totally wrong.
Britain has never had such an elderly and healthy population, with almost 13 million of us over 60.
We need to capture those people and actually help them to fulfil their dreams, because there are some amazing ideas out there.
We meet the 60-somethings who have decided there's a working alternative to 20 years of gentle retirement.
If we're going to do this, we've got to be better, we've got to be cheaper, and we've got to have an angle. And we've got to do something that nobody else is doing.
And we went for it, and we're still going for it. I still think we're the best generation there ever was.
Why are more and more of my generation rejecting the quiet life and opting to enter the world of business, saying, I'm too young to retire? When I moved to the country a few years ago, I didn't think of it as retiring. There's still so many things I wanted to do and so many jobs that I wanted to take. And that's how more and more people are thinking. Britain has an ageing population, and with pressures from inadequate pensions and redundancy affecting many of us, it's no surprise increasing numbers are trying to start up on their own. I want to meet some of these new entrepreneurs, sometimes called olderpreneurs. Sisters Annabel Rhodes and Penny Walker are both in their 60s and have set up Roads to Heaven, a range of organic beauty products which they sell online and at exclusive venues and fairs.
New cream, actually.
And that's where I've come today, to the Mary Howard Fair at Sandown Park. I can't wait to meet the two sisters and find out just exactly what it is that motivates them. Hello, I'm Val. You are Penny or Annabel?
Annabel.
Very good to meet you. How are you?
Penny's just here.
Hello, Penny. How are you?
Valerie, very well.
This looks fantastic.
It's so nice to see you.
I think I could end up being a purchaser today. Their line of 18 creams and oils cost up to £45 a pot, and selling them at fairs like this can bring in up to £3,000 a day. You're in your 60s now, aren't you?
I'm 60 now.
So you were
64.
how difficult was it starting a business at that age?
I think you're braver, but I think you've got more knowledge, and I think you're...
More knowledge of what?
Life.
That doesn't necessarily mean you're a good businesswoman, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Annabel had been in business, though.
Yes.
I hadn't. I had lost my place in the business world. Annabel hadn't. She has always worked.
And I said to Penn, if we're going to do this, we've got to be better, we've got to be cheaper, and we've got to have an angle. And we've got to do something that nobody else is doing.
There's not a lot of evidence as to whether olderpreneurs are more successful than younger ones. The evidence there is suggests, actually, yes, they are. Their businesses last longer and are more likely to survive than younger entrepreneurs.
Penny and Annabel set up their company 4 years ago, following the death of Penny's husband from cancer. During his illness, she found it hard to find the right kind of soothing lotions for him, so she decided to do something about it. Sister Annabel brought with her 20 years' experience as a saleswoman in the beauty industry.
And then, last but not least, we did have a business plan, and we did have an idea about what we were doing.
They borrowed £60,000 from the bank and, crucially, put in their own savings as well.
You have to have a passion, and you have to be quite single-minded about it.
Yeah, get up and go.
Yeah.
It's no good sitting back.
You both look enormously terrific and energetic. I can see you've got a lot of passion and energy.
It certainly is a growing trend for older people to start their own businesses. About 1 in 6 new businesses is started by somebody over 50, so certainly it's growing.
If you really want to succeed as an entrepreneur, there's no better person to ask than the man that I'm off to see now. He's built up a business from absolutely nothing to a multi-million-pound empire in excess of £830 million. He's canny, he's sharp, and he's no nonsense, and I just hope he won't fire me. Yes, you've guessed, it's Sir Alan Sugar.
Why don't you come over,
Here's my best advice to anybody. You see, a lot of entrepreneurs, be them young or old, think that what you do now is you switch your PC on and you get one of these PowerPoint presentations and you produce this wonderful business plan in multicolours and lots of spreadsheets, and you just walk off into a bank and they're going to give you some money. Wrong. Totally wrong. And I don't blame the banks either. I wouldn't give anybody any money that's got no experience, anything, no assets in it themselves. You know, I always talk about something called hurt money. I want to see how much you've stuck of your own money in there. So if everything goes down, you're going to get hurt to that amount.
Why do you think we're seeing such a wave of older entrepreneurs?
Well, it's an interesting question. I think they've got to a stage in their life where all of those commitments of having to look after their children and provide for their family and all that stuff have kind of gone away. And suddenly, that entrepreneurial spirit that always existed inside them has sprung to life.
And there's no better example of that than Jacquie Lawson. She started her online greeting cards business in 2002, and it's made her a millionaire. As a former illustrator, Jacquie knew a great deal about design, but had no experience of computers when she started. Now she has 700,000 subscribers, each paying up to £5.25 a year. Jacquie can work on a card for months.
All night and all day. I mean, I have been known to be up for 96 hours, I think, was the longest. I've got more time, of course. I don't have, the kids are all left home, and so I can be selfish.
Subscribers can select any of her 100 designs, add their message, and send it to their family and friends. I mean, wasn't there a moment or two you said, oh, heck, I'm never going to master this?
Chuck the thing out of the window many, many times, but you can't let a mere machine beat you.
Jacquie taught herself how to do it all using a software package, Flash, which only cost a few £100s. What were the difficulties setting up as somebody a bit older? I mean, were there any, or did it just not even cross your mind you were older?
No. No. Didn't have any difficulties at all, except for getting my brain round Flash and improving on how I used it.
What's remarkable about Jacquie is that she has become so successful in what is perceived as a young industry. The internet has proved to be an ideal forum for anyone to flourish, regardless of age. Would you say this is one of the things you've enjoyed most in your career?
Oh, absolutely. In my whole life, I've never had so much fun ever.
What do you think are the reasons for your success?
I'm a member of that generation who believed in ourselves. We reckon we changed the world in the 60s, and we thought, come on, we'll change it, we'll go for it. And we're still going for it. I still think we're the best generation there ever was.
Older people certainly have the drive of younger people. As to whether they have the energy, well, I suspect the answer's no, but what they've got is the wisdom to not need to use all that energy. They know and can find better ways of doing things.
Annabelle and Penny have received an order from a health spa in Devon. Despite a 300-mile round trip, they're delivering it themselves. They place a lot of importance on personal contact with customers.
We've got the purple room. Oh, lovely. Our whole aim here is to detox everyone, and I didn't want them coming into the bathroom and retoxing themselves.
Exactly.
So hit on the head.
Hit on the right products.
Good, eh?
It's the first time they've had an order from a health spa. It's exactly the market they want to get into.
Out to
Roads to Heaven Limited.
Their personal approach has won them contracts with 17 salons around the country. It's hard but rewarding work.
Really good. No, thrilled. So roll on the next one.
Well done.
But faced with a long drive back, they wonder if there's a more efficient way of selling if the business is to expand.
It's quite stressful, the driving. Lovely here, no traffic, lovely, beautiful countryside, but when you're herring up and down the M5 or the M4 and you're surrounded by lorries and the concentration, it is very, very tiring.
The growth of older entrepreneurs has sparked interest among academics. I'm off to meet a professor who's written about it.
It is a new trend, but it's caused, I suppose, by the general ageing of the population. It's also caused by shifts in demand for particular skills by employers. And sometimes people reach a sort of watershed at the age of 50, and a lot of people lose their jobs at those times. The horrible thing is that if you're aged under 50 and you lose a job, you've got about a 60% chance of finding one. If you're aged more than 50, you've got about a 10% chance.
Penny and Annabelle have taken a day off from selling to visit the business startup show at Olympia to see if they can pick up a few tips.
Yes, thank you very much.
Can you hear us at the back or not?
The main speaker is multi-millionaire entrepreneur and Dragon's Den star Peter Jones.
Think about, really importantly, have you got a passion for that idea? Do you really wholeheartedly believe in that idea?
Pleased to meet you. Have a seat.
As well. Thank you.
He's agreed to meet Annabelle and Penny.
It's the fourth year. How many products have you got?
We've got 18, but I've just bought you a few.
What's the size of your business? What have you turned over in your fourth year?
Fourth year, we're up to 110,000.
And what did you turn over in your first year?
35.
35. So you're growing
slowly.
Very slowly. And what's happening? Have you gone to any of the high street retailers with the product?
Just about to. It's
So you
taken
haven't
this
yet?
well, no. And the reason behind that is because we needed the margins. They take 50% of your product.
Exactly. We're not
because this is where we're foundering. You see, this is where we spend most of our time going around. We've got now something like 40 shows. We're going down.
Why are you going to 40 shows?
Well, because we sit out there and we talk to all our customers and we tell them all about our products.
But why don't you go and have one appointment and get in 40 stores?
Well, quite. I know. That's what we're getting now.
Peter Jones thinks they should target high street chains rather than individual businesses. They should also redesign the packaging to make it clearer what each product does.
Yeah. Give them a vision, and I would give them the journey. I'll tell you what I would do. I think you're in a perfect position to go and get huge, huge PR. And with respect, it's down to your age. I do. I would play on your age. You are who you are. And I think it's fantastic. You know, 60 plus, and today you're starting a business. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's seriously newsworthy.
Yeah.
I really do. Yeah. Use everything you've got, every tactic you've got to get that on the shelf. Yeah. Just don't lie.
No, don't do that. No.
Because it will backfire, you know.
Absolutely.
But do everything, every tactic you can have. Because I actually think you can go, you're ready to get in front of a buyer. I wish you every success. I hope it works out.
Oh, thank you.
That's another of our buzzwords.
Stocked up with a goodie bag, Peter Jones is off to his next meeting.
Food for thought.
Food for thought, exactly. He didn't offer any money. That would have been nice,
No, but
wouldn't
he
it?
was enthusiastic, and
Yeah,
he didn't
that's the
sort
main
of.
thing.
He didn't say things like, "Well, you know, you're doing your best, but you know, hey, girls." But he gave me a lot of confidence to actually go to see the big companies now. Good. That's what we'll do.
Of course, not everyone, young or old, can have a brilliant business idea and just start up on their own. Some people may simply want to stay and work that little bit longer.
What we really ought to be calling for is for firms to have an age profile of their workforce. That would really show up those that are pushing people at over 50 out.
Buster Martin is one of the oldest people to still be working in Britain. He's 101. Why is he still doing it?
It stops me getting bored, and it stops me from finishing up in a wheelchair, doesn't it? Because sometimes The older people have got more experience. They've done the jobs. I've done so many different jobs, believe you me. I've been a bloody bus conductor at one time, to earn a few bob from my family.
And retirement is still a long way off.
What's that? Retire? Not for me. The only time I'll retire is when they put me in a wooden box. And I won't know nothing about it then.
Phyllis Self, at a mere 100, is one of the oldest employers in the country.
That's me. Yeah, lovely. Thank you.
She works a 6-day week as company secretary at her family-owned garden centre.
One learns to deal with people much more sympathetically as one gets older.
Thanks very much.
I don't feel old, and I don't like it when people regard me as being old.
Thank you, Mrs. Self.
As long as I can be of any use at all, I shall go on.
There's lots of myths about the over 50s. Employers seem to think that they cost more. They seem to believe that they're likely to be sicker. They seem to believe that they're less flexible. Absolute myths, but they're still held and believed.
Oh, hello, Kim. It's Annabelle Rhodes calling from Roads to Heaven.
Back at their office, Penny and Annabelle are following Peter Jones' advice and contacting high street retailers.
I'm putting together a package of samples for you. And
John Lewis, Harvey Nichols, Fortnum & Mason, Heels, Liberties and Selfridges are all in their sights.
And I will be sending you a letter also explaining what we're doing regarding the packaging on this.
Annabelle and Penny need to select carefully which samples to send out.
Yes. Also, what are we going to put into Fortnum's?
For Fortnum's, I think our best seller is the orange skin food.
While the retailers get a chance to sample the products, Annabelle has also been working on the repackaging that Peter Jones suggested.
So I've been busying away over the last 6 weeks. This is what we've come up with. There it is in black and white, all in one, no chemical overload.
Think more about the market and where you're heading rather than about the product that you're trying to sell. One of the dangers that entrepreneurs and inventors have is they fall in love with their product and they never fall in love with the customer, so they never get round to doing it.
Well, it's a marvelous night for a moon dance with the stars up above.
The next lap of my journey is taking me to Cardiff to meet Dilys Price, the founder of Touch Trust, a pioneering charity that uses therapeutic techniques to enhance the lives of people with profound physical and learning difficulties. At 75, Dilys is older than me and a total inspiration. Dilys, an ex-dancer and teacher, started the charity when she was 65. It now employs 12 staff and caters for up to 250 clients a week. It's based at the Wales Millennium Centre and holds sessions throughout the day.
Yes, what a lovely sound. To just join in, yes. It's quite long, but just dance. And if that's too long, just go for the...
Huge sense of achievement you must have.
Yes, yes. I feel very, very, very happy, and I think go for it. You can't be flaky in this sort of thing. It's very down to earth, and you have to give the best, and you have to make sure it's excellent. I believe in excellence, so business has got to be excellent. We're going to make a beautiful sound ourselves again.
As well as overseeing the daily running of the charity, Dilys has secured a grant from the Arts Council of Wales. When you first started Touch Trust, did you find that some people were patronising towards you because of your age?
Yes, I think very, very patronising. My advice to people who are older is just to push through. Push that door open and just go through. I mean, don't care what anyone says. There'll be plenty of detractors who tell you ought to take it easy. I don't quite know for what. In order to die healthy, perhaps. And also patronising that, yes, OK, I know that you had a career, but now, of course, you're older, so your brain cells are going. I mean, really, really can be quite horrible.
But when it comes to committed fundraising, Dilys does it with style. As an experienced skydiver, her jumps have raised over £10,000 for the charity.
It is wonderful. I mean, don't forget, that's the impetus behind all this. It's the ultimate sense of freedom, you know. It's just unbelievable. And that is what I want our guests to feel. If I can get them to leave smiling and feeling a sense of their own excitement and worth, that's it.
That's the lesson for the older entrepreneur. Don't restrict yourself by thinking you can only do what older people are expected to do.
Wow. That was a good one.
People aged 65 today are far younger than they were 50 or 60 years ago. Our parents and our grandparents, if they reach 65, they really put on their cardigans and their slippers and felt, well, they didn't watch television, but let's listen to the radio, do the knitting, look after the grandchildren.
For the final lap of my journey, I've come to southwest France to meet Richard Pyle. He's done what many of us dream about and moved to a farmhouse near Toulouse and started a rather unusual business, Truffle Tree. I've come to find out if Richard's dream matches the reality. Richard, a former restaurant owner and chartered accountant, has planted a field with oak saplings, and each one has had its roots infected with truffle spores. Customers adopt a tree online and keep any truffles it produces. Black truffles are perhaps the most sought-after culinary delicacy in the world.
So here we are, coming into the Truffière.
Is that the name? Truffière?
Yes.
How many trees have you got, Dick, altogether?
I've got about 750 planted at the moment and room for a further 5.
So far, Richard has sold about 450 trees at £149 each, raising about £67,000.
This is a recently planted one. That was planted just about 13 months ago.
Now, have any of these yet produced truffles?
No. The general thinking is that the tree will start producing between 5 and 9 years from planting. These are 4 years old, so they have a little while to go.
Richard charges the tree's adopters a £35 annual maintenance fee, bringing in about £16,000 a year. It's very lovely. What a spot. So beautiful.
It's a gorgeous view across the valley.
And in the summer. Now, of course, to see a truffle and try one, and how better than in scrambled eggs. I actually read somewhere that a truffle is an aphrodisiac, and it makes a woman more affectionate and a man more attentive. Is this true? Well, I know this after I've had my scrambled eggs.
You read that on my website, I think.
I did.
That's brilliant. Brilliant, Savarin.
I've done my research. There you are, 6 eggs.
Right.
So did you finance this all yourself with the proceeds of kind of retiring from Britain?
Yes.
Or did you have investors involved?
No. It's entirely mine.
Isn't it a bit risky? If it doesn't work, does that mean all your precious savings have gone?
Yes, I suppose it is, but I've taken risks all my life, not just monetary ones. It didn't enter my head not to do it.
Everybody I've met so far that I've talked to started a business when they're older. What advantages are there, Dick?
Oh, experience. I've had businesses in all sorts of sectors, and each time, and particularly through failures, you learn what not to do.
Go for it, but again, you know, there is no guarantee of success, so don't sling everything into it, and certainly go and enjoy yourself, really, you know, because you've had it. It may have existed inside you all those years, and now you've got the opportunity of showing everybody what you can do.
I've learnt a lot from doing Truffle Tree. I think more than anything else, I've learnt the importance of marketing, and it really is the essence of everything, from designing the product through to how you sell it.
At the truffle market in nearby Lalbonque, it was clear that Richard's plan was more than just a quirky scheme. Everybody just serves it in little baskets.
Yes.
Agents from Paris were paying £500 a kilo for prime truffles. Can I feel? Oh, it's quite heavy. It's such a weird smell. Yeah, it's nice. Smell at all. A good tree will produce 2 kilos a year, and in Britain that could be worth £3,000. They look like
for one person.
And finally, I saw a truffle dog in action.
Stop.
C'est bon? Hey. Gosh, there it is. I was impressed and inspired by Richard. He'd found a niche market, an original idea, and he was enjoying his new life immensely.
Yes. Elle est très froide.
Yes.
Elle sent peu.
No, c'est un brûlé.
Back in London, Roads to Heaven have been invited to exclusive department store Heels.
This is so important to us and really, really exciting. We really want to get into the big stores, and this meeting means everything to us.
Penny is abroad, so it's all up to Annabelle.
Hi, I'm Gillian. I'm a trading director. I'm Sam, buyer of Truffle Tree. It's nice to meet you. Thanks for coming today.
I'm going back to find some peace of mind and sand.
Do you want to start by telling us about Roads to Heaven?
My sister's husband sadly got cancer. Very aggressive cancer, and had to take a lot of chemotherapy and radiotherapy. His skin got very thin.
As soon as Annabelle explains how the business began, the buyers are hooked.
I'd like us to be honest and true and do something exceptional. That's what we want.
Okay,
but I'd love you to try some.
The buyers are impressed with the range, but think the instructions on the bottles aren't clear enough.
I think things like the bath oils and the fragrances will sell very easily because they don't need that level of explanation. Yeah. The skincare I absolutely feel is right for us and we want to do, but on that one we definitely need to work on how we sell a message, because obviously it needs that extra level of explanation.
To come up.
But some in-store demonstrations would be brilliant.
Delighted.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You know, for me, the key to this is there is an absolutely great story behind it, and we have to tell that story. And if we can get that right, then I think, you know, then we should be on to a winner.
It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. They've asked to trial our products in their main store here in Tottenham Court Road. Asked me to go in and do demonstrations. They're going to help me with certain aspects of the packaging. It's everything I ever wanted. Penny will be so excited when I phone her to tell her what's happened. Just the best news ever. Perfect, brilliant, new beginning.
From what I've seen, your working life does not need to come to an end when you hit 60. In fact, if you get it right, you can start a business that's both financially rewarding and probably more fulfilling than almost anything else in your career. Thank you.
We have all the time in the world just for love.
We are enriching and we understand how important that is, and actually we all have a wonderful life.
Just doing what I like doing. And the best part about it is other people enjoying it.
The best 5 years of my life, I think. I have enjoyed every minute of living here in France, and the best decision I've ever made in my life, without question.
Only love.
For more information, go to bbc.co.uk/money programme. Next week, there have never been so many counterfeit goods on sale in the UK. Max Flint investigates why we've fallen for the fakes and what can be done about it. That's Friday, BBC 2, 7 p.m.
Tonight on BBC 2, follow the choir.
They're all coming out and they're all singing. It's just great.
Overcoming the nerves at their first public performance. Don't miss it tonight at 9. Next tonight, remembering the Busby Babes 50 years since Munich. The Nation on film in a moment.
These tourists have come to see a battleground.